Hello everyone, I'm Rashmi Mangla. I'm working as an assistant professor for the BBA department of St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. The subject that I'll be teaching today is e-commerce. This is our 6th lecture and we were doing unit 1. The topics of unit 1 that we'll be covering today are nature and dynamics of internet, services provided by the internet, advantages of internet, limitations of internet and intranet. Now let's begin with the first one, nature and dynamics of internet. Now when we talk about internet is a globally connected network system that uses internet provider to transmit data via various modes of media. The internet is a network of global exchanges including private, public, business, academic and government networks connected by guided wireless and fiber optic technologies. Now, this term internet and world wide web, we at times use it interchangeably, but they're not exactly the same thing. Internet refers to the global communication system, which includes hardware and infrastructure, whereas the web is one of the services which is communicated over the internet. Now, let's see the nature of internet in brief. Now, nature of internet comprises of these following points. Let's see them one by one. First one is global nature. Now we know internet is actually global in its nature. Why? Because it is with the internet we can have an access to the entire world, isn't it? It's the set of computer networks is a web which is interconnected and various countries can be linked through it. So it has a global nature. It can link different countries via the interconnected network, web network. Then interactivity. The interactive character of the internet utterly changes liable playing field. It is completely different from the industrial age paradigm where newspapers and television stations had dominant, if not monopolistic, relationship with the readers and viewers. What earlier we had was, we had only newspapers, televisions, they were very dominant. That whatever information is there in a specific area, only that has to be shown. On internet, the information is shown on a national level, and they were dominant also, although not monopolistic, but yes, they had a major impact. But here on the internet, it has an interactive character. Then accessibility. Accessibility now is another feature of the internet which distinguishes it from traditional print or broadcast media. Now the relative low cost of connecting to the internet, the cost is not very high, and even of establishing one's own website means that the opportunity of defamation has increased exponentially. The cost of internet is not very high, one can easily create their website. So these are some kind of positive perks that we have. Now on the internet, not only this, everyone can be a publisher and can be sued as a publisher. Everyone can be a publisher, you can publish and you can even be sued. That means everything has its pros and cons. If you publish something wrong, you can be sued against it. Then anonymity. Internet users do not have to reveal their true identity in order to send email or post messages or on bulletin boards. When you have to post something on bulletin board, when you have to send an email, you don't need to reveal your true identity. Even with a fake name, with a fake identity, you can do so. And users are able to communicate and make such posting anonymously or under assumed names. So by any assumed names, fake names, you can do such kind of communication. Now, this feature, it fused both with the ability to access the internet in the privacy of one's home or office, or the interactive, responsive nature of communications on the internet. It fused both the things. And it has resulted in users being far less inhibited about the contents of their messages. Now because your privacy, you can just keep yourself private, you can just hide your identity. So the content of the messages, it is very less inhibited. The last one, long-term impact of permanent archives. This is another distinctive feature that internet has. It is that the information can be stored in perpetuity and yet made accessible as though the events are contemporary through a few clicks of the mouse. Long-term impact, a lot of information can be stored, even if it is an information like you started using the computer somewhat around 10, 20 years ago. So the information which you entered 20 years ago, if your file and folder is safe enough, so you can even have an access to that much old information. So it has a long-term impact. And it serves as a permanent archive where your files that are stored, if your computer and its memory has got no problem with it, then they can be stored till a long time. Now let's see the services that are provided by the internet. Now internet services, they allow us access to huge amount of information. For example, text, graphics, sound, software over the internet, etc. So here are a few of the internet services that are provided to us. Communication services, information retrieval services, web services, and World Wide Web. Let's see them one by one. Now when we talk about communication services, there are various communication services available that offer exchange of information with individual or groups. For example, we have electronic mail, we have news group, we have internet relay chat, telnet. So these are the communication services that are provided to us. Then information retrieval services. There exist several information retrieval services offering easy access to information present on the internet. We have a quick access that whatever information is there on the internet, we can quickly access it. For example, we have Gopher, we have file transfer protocol. So these are a brief introduction of the services which are provided to us. Then web services. Now when we talk about web services, they allow exchange of information between applications on the web. Using web services, applications can easily interact with each other. One application can have an interaction with each other using web services. Then last one is World Wide Web. World Wide Web, WWW, is also known as W3. It offers a way to access documents spread over the several servers over the internet. There are many documents which are spread over a different number of servers. So you can have an access to all those documents via World Wide Web. Now these documents, they may contain text, they may contain graphics, they may contain audio, video, hyperlink, anything. The hyperlinks also allow the users to navigate between the documents. For example, the web pages, website and URL. So navigation is also possible. So basically World Wide Web gives us an access to all the documents that are spread over the internet. So these are the services that are provided by the internet. Now let's see a few of the advantages which internet gives us. See, we all know that internet is one of the greatest creations and it provides people with instant access to endless supply of knowledge and entertainment. But yes, here are a few major advantages of internet. Although it offers us ample number of advantages, but a few main advantages are listed here. Let's see them one by one. The internet gives more marketing options, benefits, and platform for business than traditional methods. As compared to the old traditional methods, internet has given us more marketing options and has given it benefits and better platform. For example, online shopping or e-commerce, if we talk about, all is possible only because of internet, and it is a very good platform if we compare it with traditional methods. Then business owners can find tools for market research and data mining, application for business planning and product development, open source software application to start at online business, clients for product and services around the world. We can have the clients from all around the world, not only from a specific location. Then cloud storage tool to store business data and information. We can have cloud storage tool, text, audio and video conferencing tools for instant business communication, social media networks to build relationships with important people and for character development. On social media, we can even build relationships with important people, and even that can even help us in our character development. Then online courses and learning platforms are to improve owners, employees, business and marketing skill. Payment gateway and online payment system to accept and send money, etc. by the use of the internet. They can help us in accepting and sending the money. Then, and not only these, there are n number of advantages as well. These are the few main advantages. Now let's see a few of the limitations of internet that we face. The first one is the quality of information resources might not always be reliable and accurate. Yes, see, always the information that you're getting from the net, it might not always be true, might not always be completely reliable. See, of course, with so many websites and webmasters claiming to be an expert, if we talk about, for example, you go for banking coaching, you have various ample number of websites. For example, you have Bankers Adda, you have News 24/7 or Exam.B. There are various kind of websites who are offering you the syllabus, who are offering you the content, who are offering you online coaching, online test series. So, but it is not necessary that all of them might be very good. One or two is very good from where the children are able to crack their exams, and some of them might be startups, some of them might be just who have been working for maybe for just past 2 or 1 or 2 years. So with so many websites and so many webmasters who claim themselves to be an expert in almost anything, but we are ending up in stuffs like learn how to earn online with a 13-year-old. So that's just an example that a small child can also tell us that how can we learn to earn online. So but that small child is not an expert. So similarly, there are so many websites, but all the websites might not be selling authentic information, might not be giving us the authentic result. So that is why the quality of information is not always reliable. Then searching of information can be very tedious. Yes, see, for example, if you go on the Google home page and you search for anything, for example, you search on the meaning of a word. When you click, for example, you're asking meaning of the word accurate, when you will just go to the search option, you will get 1,000 links. So which one is the most appropriate one? In order to find out, you need to check 2-3 links. So searching of information is very tedious. It's not an easy task, because there are so many pages that come up once you search for a single thing, and then you need to browse through all the pages in order to get to know exactly what you are looking for. Then internet is definitely not 100% secure. Yes, basically we cannot neglect the thing like identity theft, a PC being compromised by a hacker, or email account being compromised. So internet is not 100% secure. Anything can happen. Maybe your ID can be hacked, maybe your identity can be taken up, the other mishappening can take place. For example, next step, bullying, trolls, stalkers in crime, all these things also happen on internet, on social networking sites. Identity theft, hacking the computers, hacking your websites, viruses, cheating, these all are limitations. These are all the things which are happening and which give us a negative point of the internet. Spam advertising, that means giving fake advertisements, selling wrong products and pretending something else. So all these are the limitations of internet. Now there is a new concept that we are going to learn, that is intranet. Now an intranet, it's basically a private network that can only be accessed by authorized users. The users who have been authorized for it, जिनको authority दी गई है, वही access कर पाएंगे. For example, internet is accessible to all of the people, but intranet is only accessible to a few of them who have been given the authority. Now here, intra means, if we talk about the word intranet, the prefix intra means internal, and therefore implies an intranet is designed for internal communication. So basically, intranet is meant for internal communication. For example, you have an organization and you want all your employees to communicate amongst themselves. So the kind of network that we'll be using within an organization, so that the employees of the organization can communicate with each other, that network will be called an intranet. Alright. Now an intranet comprises a restricted computer network controlled by and usually reserved for a single organization, which is reserved for one single organization, just as I told you, like a corporation's private network. Then intranets connect anywhere from dozens to thousands of people. It can connect from 10 to 1,000 people, it can connect, and even more. And they often have their own physical infrastructure separate from the internet. They have a separate physical infrastructure. Intranets serve many different purposes, but their primary objective is to facilitate internet internal communication. They can serve various other purposes, but the main one is that they facilitate internal communication. And not only this, some intranets are limited to specific local Indian network, while some or the others can be accessed from remote locations from over the internet. Like let's say for example, a business may create an intranet to allow employees to securely share messages and files with each other. When within an organization, employees have to share, as I told you, employees have to communicate, they have to share things with each other within a single organization. That is where we use intranet. All right. And not only this, it also provides a simple way for system administrators also to broadcast messages, to roll out updates to workstations connected to the internet, and many other things. Now, some of the examples of some of the internet services are Microsoft, SharePoint, Huddle, Igloo. These are some of the examples of intranet services. Oftentimes some services are open source and free of charge, but most of the internet solutions are chargeable. They require a monthly fee, and that fee or that cost is again related to the number of users within the intranet. If there are more number of users, the charges will be more. If there are less number of users, the charges will be less. Now let's see some questions based on today's concept. Explain the nature of intranet. What are the services provided by the internet and explain its advantages? State the limitations of internet. Write a short note on intranet. Stay tuned for the upcoming videos of Unit 1. Thank you.